Welcome to the Miller Martial Arts Podcast. It's a wonder how I got this graphic on the screen because somebody moved my Apple TV remote. I want to beat your fucking ass. That shit pisses me off. You know what really grinds my gears? Is when people move your shit. You put it in a spot because that's where it goes. And when somebody else goes, oh, I see this thing here. I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to move it to where I think it should go. But it's not yours.
Who do you think did it? Whose face do you have? You got this face on and it's in your head and it replays and you want to grab, because it's natural. We all do. You know when you get your car broken into or something gets stolen?
I do.
And
I do.
Oh, yeah, it always happens to him, but something gets stolen. You know, something stolen or something, or somebody did something at the gym, and you got this person's face, and that motherfucker will probably live 7 states away. But you're like, I'm gonna beat their fucking teeth in for this. Who is it? Whose face?
It doesn't matter.
You know what's really bad? You know, when I rode my one wheel yesterday, and I don't mean this in any harmful way or any negative way, but for some reason, I really value what Ben Jones has to say about the weather. And I look at I don't know why it's become this saying that I have, and I don't know why, but I'll look at my weather app, which is not like Channel 13 or anything, nothing to do, but then I'll see that all of a sudden will be time to rain when it didn't say that an hour ago, and I'll go, God damn it, Ben Jones. I don't know why. And it's become my number one go-to. I don't know why. But I think he's the best weatherman, though. Like, he's awesome.
He's great.
And I don't mean that. So that's why I'm saying, I'm like, God damn it, Ben Jones. I feel like yesterday I'm riding my one wheel and it just fucking torrential downpours on me. And I'm looking at the phone and it, once again, just a Weather Channel app, nothing to do with Ben Jones. But I
don't know if
mad.
he's a quality meteorologist or not, but he's a great fucking weatherman.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's cool.
That's what I mean. He's a great weatherman. Is he a good meteorologist? I don't know. I'm not challenging
what's the
that.
Name? Jeff Cantor or whatever. What's his name? Jim Cantor. The dude who's like fucking hanging sideways during typhoons and shit, but still holds on to the mic. The bald-headed guy from Weather Channel.
I don't know.
Jim Cantor, right? Is that right?
I haven't watched the Weather Channel in forever.
Oh, you don't? Oh.
No. Okay, this episode is brought to you by me and Bubby, because we're making this happen. I'd also like to just say how great of a coffee mug this Old Man's Club coffee mug is from Ranger Up. They have some pretty cool stuffs on there, and you should buy it. If you'd like to give us money to advertise your business on this podcast, we like money. Message us and we'll let you know if we're interested.
Or send us an Apple remote. It's probably in the bottom of that big-ass barrel of a mug right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So what's the topic? Sorry.
I think we can get started.
So, hold on. It wasn't the last one. The last one we talked about, when I was on it, we talked about everything with the whole corona, and we led into different things with how it affected our schools and the importance of jiu-jitsu and everything. And anyway, some topics that have stemmed from that, and I think this podcast in general is going to lean to answering some questions for the beginner, and it's also going to kind of lay in line with like what coaches feel and say and think. And so we're not talking about conspiracies quite yet, but anyway, we're going to cover some actual, maybe some FYI or some frequently asked question type things too. So we got one right here. This is common. And Cole, it's more common. Well, it's common for me as well, but it's very common with Cole being in a military town. Us, we're in a college town, so a lot of our guys haven't started yet. They start maybe with us, but we also have another big office, and we have people who maybe have trained at a previous city, and they move. And you leave your coach behind, and you leave your family behind, and everybody knows that when you train at a facility for a long time, you gain a lot of loyalty, and then you always have that thing like the next gym's not going to be as great as this gym, that I'm at now. you have that loyalty, and sometimes you have been with them long enough that you say, I want to stay under my current professor and lineage. Or maybe you transfer within that lineage because you have that much loyalty to that lineage. Maybe like Carlson Gracie team, another Soul Fighter school or a Hibero affiliate, however it may be, or Alliance Gym. You would kind of stay inside that realm, but you may even want to stay inside under your current professor. We have had these situations that people have transferred that are not black belts, but that are up and coming. And so how do you feel as a coach when someone says that? And you as a student, is it disrespectful to ask to stay under your previous lineage and instructor that you would like to remain? I personally have had a very good longtime friend, childhood friend, who is a purple belt under me, was a purple belt under me, but wants to stay under me, but he wound up receiving his brown belt from his new instructor in DC, but he has always had this thing of like, I want to get my black belt under you. I believe that ship has sailed now because he is not imprinted on him, but he gave you the brown. It would be odd for me to think that if he goes from purple to brown under this guy and then back to black belt under me. I want to say now, though, he is, I guess you could technically say, a free agent because that affiliate closed down during the corona. And now he is almost left stranded with now, I'll always claim him as mine still. He's a great friend of mine. But now the next closest affiliate with that instructor owned is 45 minutes away, which is light years in DC time. Nobody drives that far. So what should happen? And if he goes, we seem to have an intruder over here. Cole's going to pull one of his 56 fucking false guns in. What are you doing? You are throwing a shit fit over that? I thought it was one of them Warner Robins Centerville exit rats that I've seen that are the size of a Yaris. But
I'm afraid of spiders.
He was over there. We're in his domain.
He's still over there now. He's just in pieces.
So how do you do that? And at what point does it become are you still want to remain under him? Is it a convenience factor for you? Is it a loyalty factor? What belt is that normally approachable at that they go, hey, I ask respectfully that I'd like to stay under my previous lineage with my previous coach? And at what point do you go, you're still a white belt, what would you do then? That would be a different scenario than, hey, I'm a purple belt and I've been here for 6 years or whatever, 5, or, and how does the rest of your uppers in the academy, how do they feel about that guy? Because some people get like, okay, motherfucker want to stay where he's from. Well, he can go back to where he's from. Or some people are like that, and they're like, oh, you think I think it's all on your personal journey and BJJ and how you feel about it, like that loyalty. Like some people go like, it's maybe like, how would you feel if you really had a diehard connection with this guy? I believe wherever you go, you're learning, but I can understand like wanting to stay. For example, Cole's my best friend. And when Cole got his black belt, I had the ability and I had the chance. I could have went under Cole, right? And even though Cole, we're even like training together some, and I see him all the time, but I could have went under him, but I stayed under JiuJitsu. And you know what I mean? So it was kind of like one of them things. It was like, even when Cole got his first degree and could technically have given me the black belt, like when it was time, I stayed under JiuJitsu that time. And I felt that I felt bad in a sense of like, I felt like I shouldn't jump, because even though a lot of my game come from Cole too. And as a friend, I had more loyalty as a friend. You know what I mean? In long term. So it was one of them subjects that I didn't want to be skipping, even though it was within American Top Team, And actually, I think he even expected. He's like, hey, Cole got his black belt now and all that. And I think he kind of thought, even at one point as well.
Didn't I get my first degree like the weekend before or the weekend after that you got your black belt?
I think it was before.
Okay.
Because the date, because it was.
How convenient.
Yeah. What was it, like September the 6th or something like that? You got the the actual date?
No, it was December.
Or was it December? Oh, it was a Christmas thing. Because it was towards that time we were in, when he got the black
December
belt.
10th is when I got mine.
Yeah. I was.
That was, yeah.
I'm sorry, December. I don't know why I'm thinking.
December 10th.
I don't know why I'm thinking September, but yeah.
December 10th, I got the black belt, and then my first degree came on like the 12th.
Yes, because mine was on the 15th.
Yeah.
Mine was on the day that McGregor knocked out Aldo. Always remember that.
Dude, what a crazy fight that was.
That was the day that I got my black belt. Cole wasn't there. Ain't that some shit? Now,
I wasn't there.
To be fair, he wasn't ever told by Jucal a week before that he was going, because it was a week before that he saw you at Top Team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 4 days before, not like a week before, like 4 days.
He did it because he wanted to surprise me.
He saw me at Tuesday Blockeo.
That was awesome.
And then he promoted Bubby on Saturday. Didn't even tell me about it.
Yeah. But I had no clue. But anyway, to the topic. Like I said, I have kids that have come to me from other gyms. In California, the other day was a touchy one. I had a striping ceremony Wednesday. And 2 girls from California who are very fit to be gray belts, but I've only had them for a month. I'm not tying that new belt on them. I want them to warm up to our system and to warm up to how we run things at the gym, not just give them a belt because they were 4 stripers with other color stripes for achievements that they had. And I think they were like, oh, man. But their mom's like, no. Their coach is very stern where they come from, so this is very good.
I was about to say, he didn't
to see it.
It's one thing to not give an adult a gift belt on the way out. But for the kids, when they got 4 stripes on their gray, white, or whatever.
He held them.
Come on, man.
He's like, nah, sit your ass down. Go.
Like
he basically
said,
go somebody else with that shit. So, I promoted my youngest daughter. She got a stripe. My oldest daughter did not want one, didn't care to have one, understands it, was so happy for the youngest one. And my other kid, my other 2 from California I have, both of them got striped. They've been with me for 6 months. 1 stripe. I ain't fucking around with that shit. You ain't getting no damn yellow belt now. But they rightfully earned it. And so anyway, what do you feel about when people come? And
I feel it's less touchy of a subject than the new student makes it out to be.
Sure.
Like, I think that they think it's going to be this weird thing, and they don't know how to talk about it, and they don't know how to approach you, or do they wait for you to approach them? It's this very weird thing. And I think that if you, just when you sign up, you should just say it. Like, say what you think, or say if you had already made an agreement with your former instructor or something like that, then you should just say that to the new coach, because like, the last thing that you want to do as an instructor is not know about it and give this guy 2 stripes.
Sure.
Then, like, over social media or some bullshit, or another student tells you they saw a photo with this guy last week and he had no stripes on his belt after you had just given him 2 or something.
That's right.
And then, or then they go out of town on a seminar to see their old coach and they come back with a new belt after you had given them 3 stripes.
That's right.
That's just some weird stuff.
I have had that.
Yeah, I know. That's what. Yeah,
it's very weird.
So I think that either that you get somebody coming in, that whoever, like, when they sign up, or the moment they see the head instructor, if the instructor is not the person who does sign-ups, like, you should just talk about it, like, right away.
Sure.
Like, communicate. And, like, if a blue belt came up to me and was like, sir, I moved here and I'm gonna stay under my coach. Are you here for 6 months?
Right.
It's like, I'm living here forever.
That's another. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give you 8 years of an education, and then this guy will just, if you want to go see this guy to tie you off while I do it, it's weird.
It is,
but I'll do it.
And that's what we talk about, like that right there, like, because it's the Santa Claus. It's, you do the work, but they get the praise almost. I'm not gonna say they get the praise, but if you are you are really investing into this athlete, and like he lives here full time. If he's here for a year or 6 months, that's understandable. That is very actually common. Very common.
Yeah, we get these guys PCS.
Yeah.
Or, they come in and then they're here even longer, 2 years, and they got 3 years, they got to go. Like 3 years, that's going to be their duration here in Warner Robins. And they got to go.
Yeah.
And if, I'm happy to get them to where I can get them.
Sure.
And promote them or not promote them. But if I promote you and then you go somewhere else for 3 years because you're in the Air Force, I don't feel any kind of way about it if you get a stripe or a belt. I literally don't. Like, it's not about you had loyalty to me, but I didn't have it back to you. It's like, no, really, you should be bestowing the black belt on yourself. You're the one that did the work.
Right.
In some kind of way. That's I could look at it like that. But if you got from white to purple, then you came to Warner Robins, and then I gave you a brown, and then you went somewhere else, and then you got a black. The fuck do I care?
That's right.
It's your journey. You had to go and get it. And for the military guys, I feel for them.
That's right. Yeah.
Because a lot of people won't give them a belt because they're like, oh, he's not going to be have an allegiance to us.
Yeah.
He's not going to be loyal to us. It's like, what do you mean? If he did the work, he deserves a belt, give him the belt. And then he goes and you don't deal with it ever again. But to hold a guy back, he can't help, he volunteered for the service.
That's right.
That he does for our country. And he can't help that our country says he's got to go somewhere else.
What sucks is when he moves, he's got to start all over.
Yeah, because these guys are like, now I'm going to make a. He's already on the belt level, but like what you were saying, let's see how he fits in with our crowd and gets used to us. And then it's just these guys, man, they just get beat down from that, and then a lot of them quit.
That's right. No, they definitely do, and they quit. They we had our friend as well, Eric Trudell, military guy, trained under Alex Shabara and whatnot, and gotten his belts through him. And then I remember we had that conversation at one point where Trudell got tied on under me with the purple.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he moved away, got the brown
from somebody under Matt Larson, right?
Yes, and then he
got the black from Larson.
And then he got the black. So it was like one of the in the military guys, it's that long journey. And but yeah, and I also think that there's a lot of variables that come into you staying under your previous coach, but more importantly is that we all know this. There's certain coaches that are just like, if you ain't here and you just come visit, I ain't tying it on you, because they want to know. They want to know that you've worked for it, and a lot of times you have. But if you just go home and visit, when is it time to tie it on, and when is it acceptable to tie it on? Where you got your other people going, man, I know he's away and he's training, but dude, he ain't training. It's just odd because the coach is put in a different space, but a little bit because of the integrity now is almost being diminished a piece at a time. If somebody just comes and visits and you tie him a belt on, in a sense, if you just, let's say if this dude's literally clear across the country and he pops in once a year, it's tough, man. And I think that's almost at a time to where if I'm tying a high belt, I'd like to communicate. I just tied my first black belt on, and I'm losing him. But he's been with me for years, and he was actually with me longer than most.
And he came as a brown.
He came as a brown, and he'd been a brown for a while.
You think his former coach threw a shit fit because you gave him the black belt?
Right.
No.
And now he's moving to the Netherlands, and dude, 110%. Well, I would love to go. He said he's going to try to continue his journey out there. Of course, he's already looking for a gym. But I was like, man, I would love to be. And that's another one. What do you do then as the black belt? That's where it normally gets, because you have now pledged that allegiance kind of to your lineage, and then it's
it's about you. You can just stay under your coach. He'll stripe you out.
That's right. Your coach should stripe you, because now it's a time thing.
Right.
And
you're continuing the style that they put into you, but then also now you're kind of letting your own creativity and your own mind take over. You're a master student at this point, and now you can begin to kind of teach and kind of better categorize your learning experience. I think purple belt is where the student should make that call.
That's right. 100%.
If you're a white belt or blue belt and you come at me and you're like, I'm going to stay under my old sensei, I look at you like you're a weirdo. Like I got no problem with it because I'm glad that you communicated that. That way I don't feel foolish for striping you or whatever at the ceremony. But like I look at you like you're weird.
Yeah.
You're a blue belt. Like you're not nothing, but you're barely more than something.
Yeah.
You know, and
you're an amoeba.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
with a leg.
and even like a guy who like, let's say they moved.
Yeah.
And it's almost like because they moved is why they got the purple belt.
Sure.
Not like they had 4 stripes or 3 stripes on their purple belt and it's dingy. I'm saying like they were leaving and their coach gave them a purple belt. Not a gift, they earned it, but like it's like you're leaving now. You know, here's your purple. You deserve this.
Sure.
Like I still think that maybe they should, you know, go under the new coach.
Yeah.
Like but you don't know the circumstance. Did that guy start with him when he was 12, went through the kids system,
right?
You know, then got the, you know, the blue belt and it's only a purple belt, but it's actually 10 years already.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
But like if you just got, you know, you got 3 years in jiu-jitsu and you got a purple belt because you put the hard work in and you got some special attributes, like I don't know. I'd say go under your new coach.
And once again, it's also up to the current coach, who's like, hey, everybody does this. Hey, man, I'm going here. Do you know? Can you refer me to any gym? And you have investing in your student, like, yes, this is an academy I would recommend here, XYZ, and this coach, very good coach. I would, you know, and that's one of them topics as well. It's like he's almost passing you on as they should.
They say if you love something, you give it away.
That's right.
And like that's like how you should like treat a student that you should care about all your students. But like that's how you should do it. You should send them off. You shouldn't like loyalty is something that should never be demanded.
That's right. No, 110%. And it's man.
Or talked about all the time.
Yes, right.
This crayon's piece of shit. This, you know, like this motherfucker. Like you,
the accent change. I wonder what he's talking about.
No, I mean that's. I'm just saying that
true.
It was Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so I'm talking about like the culture and what comes from jiu-jitsu from Brazil. I mean, like, but this is a different time.
It's a different time for sure.
And even I'm not calling Brazilians out. It's like the people understand that there's cross training and there's online and there's all the, and people might not like it. It's this is a free country. You can not like it all you want, but that's the way it is.
Just don't drive no motherfucking car through a crowd.
And I think it's healthy for an instructor to realize the student really don't even need your ass. They don't. Like there's so much out there right now. They're going to get good with or without you if they want to get good.
Yeah.
So I don't think you should put so much on yourself. It's unhealthy.
Yeah, it is a two-way street for sure, and it's man, there's so many factors and variables that come in if like you come from like a cult type atmosphere.
Now, also, I'm not talking about the coach who let this guy sleep in the gym for 4 years and fed him and clothed him and gave him a belt, and that's not what I'm talking about. That guy, maybe that student should have some kind of loyalty.
Sure.
You know, never paid no dues.
That's right.
You know,
there's a lot of
clean the mats for membership, which is nothing.
Yeah. That's
nothing. You know, like this guy should maybe have some kind of loyalty.
Sure. There's a lot of variables that come into it. 110%. And I had, you know, a good friend of ours, Deo. He chose to stay under Travin, and I trained with Travin. I was under him when I was under Philip Smith, and so it was completely. It was like, yeah, absolutely, man. You're brown belt. Yeah, perfect, dude. Brown belt, you're world champ. You know, hell yeah, dude. Like they built you up great. Like stay with them. And you're only 45 minutes south. Like go up there. And he did. He got his black belt from him, you know, some time later. But it was like, I never looked at that in any shape, form, or fashion, any weird way.
You weren't green lighting him and putting your best guys on his ass. Yeah.
No, man. He was actually very much so a part of our family at the gym.
Yeah.
Very much so. He helped our fighters out a ton. He fought for me.
I remember that.
Fought under my banner.
I remember that.
You know, and I loved it. I mean, he was a great dude. He was a great training partner, team player, helped everybody. Very smart guy, gritty.
He had a fighting spirit.
He had a very much fight. He had a fucking hard ass fight. He probably fight of the night in Macon. Dude,
that was nasty.
You know, like dude's an attorney and took time off work to fight as an amateur. Like he had everything to lose, so to say. Like, yeah, fuck these brain cells. I'm about to put this shit on for free. And he had a hell of a fight. And but yeah, like that. But I've also, I've had a guy come up to me after a ceremony. He goes, "Hey, you know that I am under you." And I thought that was a weird, like, because I passed him over because I was like, okay, we never talked about it. He was a purple belt under his previous lineage. Him and his friend came together to train. His friend kind of bozoed off. So funny you talk about it. His friend bozoed off and got a fucking blue belt under some other lineage randomly. Still come to our gym. What do you think happened to him? They chewed him up.
Oh yeah.
They chewed him up because they're like, you're training here, learning here. Then he went to a seminar, got a blue belt from a whole third party different affiliation. They chewed him up.
Isn't it funny how
they chewed his ass alive?
Isn't it funny how you don't need to do anything?
Yeah.
Your internal crew.
Yeah.
They'll be like, that was wrong.
Your enforcers.
They will regulate without your approval.
Absolutely.
You don't got a green light.
That's what I was gonna
Hey,
they'll just,
it'll correct itself a lot of times in the culture of like, I've been places where guys will just be like, yeah, no, that's not cool.
That's right.
Like,
hey, and that comes like, all right, you got that in BJJ. That is very prominent in MMA because in MMA, there are ship jumpers left and right because they have to go sometimes where the training is best for them, and if they felt some other fighters felt some type of way when they came back, they're gonna let you feel it, and I've seen that personally in my gym. And everybody who trains at our gym knows who those guys are. They know exactly who the enforcers are and who's going to make them, who's going to be like, hey, me and you sweat together. We train together. We helped each other out. I've helped you out. And for you to abandon like that and then come back asking for help, they'll make them never want to. They'll never feel like part of that crew. And you know how it feels when you've trained long enough to go like, yeah, I got pushed out. You know what I mean? There is that sense.
I have a question for both of you. Is that
Sure.
like as somebody who's been in those situations, and like when you're making the choice, like, because sometimes it's bodies, like you're looking for bodies to train with. If you're caught in the in between, like that's a hard choice for some guys.
What do you mean?
Like when you're caught, like you have a place here you're training, but there's a better place that you can get better, or there's better bodies, or there's better.
If you're just cross training, that's one thing. But like,
but when you transfer, what I'm gathering from y'all is just being open and everybody talking about it is kind of the.
You got to.
Yeah.
Like I think people would think that I would be a different way. I think that like you were talking about, like coming from MMA, like you see the guys come and go. Like we've got the word loyalty tattooed on us, and then like I've got like an American Top Team tattoo. So it's like. But what I choose for myself is not what I would put on other people. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like
100%.
I'm the way that I am. But I don't ask or demand that for other people to be how I am, because like I know that this thing is already hard enough, and I remember what it was like to see, not so much for me to feel a certain way, but to see other people feel a certain way. And I was like, man, this is really haunting. Or it's daunting on them even. Like,
no, for sure.
It's really weighing down. Like, wouldn't it be nice if this person could just like release all that stress? And I would never want like my students to feel that way.
Yeah, and it goes back to that, if you love it, you leave it kind of thing and let it go. But it's you have to understand that at points there are just, man, look, there is only a window of time that is only going to be so good for so many things, and there is another there after that. You are beating a dead horse, and sometimes you might have to go visit something else to see it and then go, okay, you know what, actually I needed a break from that, now I can go back. Or one most important thing is like communication, because it's, I think when instructors get blindsided, like, what the fuck, like, hold on, man, I'm like, me, I can tell you as the owner of a gym, same with Cole, but like I have had the people living in my gym. I mean, and I've had to the point where I've raised a kid that was not mine, who was homeless at the age of fucking 15. And then by the time he was 18, he fought professionally. I mean, and then to see him, and he didn't go back. It wasn't that, but he chose a different life route that just really disappointed me. But he's a kid. And at the same time, I had my own things going on as well. So I was like really disappointed in him, as if he were to have just jumped ship randomly without communicating. Because I was like, man, you've been given every chance and people have treated you well. But once again, everybody's going to perceive those things differently about, what they actually value, which you may appreciate. Like, you unappreciative son of a bitch, but they're like, I thought I appreciated it, but this I just don't appreciate it like you do. And if you don't, so it's kind of it's got to be
Yeah.
a two-way open circuit. Like, you have to see that. And once again, if there's no communication and you get blindsided, I think that's, once again, at the end of the day, it's all communication. But if you have fighters that, let's say, go train at another gym and get more bodies, and then and that's also a thing. That's the thing about, like, security as well. Like, you have to, and I can gladly say that I fought and go, like, I know what I might be looking for at this gym. I need to make sure my coach knows that. And if he doesn't believe that, we may be knocking heads. And then not only we may be knocking heads for a personal insecurity that he may have. I'm trying to let him know, like, hey, I need this out of this person. And that coach, why in the fuck can't he come over here then? And then it's like, okay. Now I see. That says you don't want me to get tainted by something else. I have actually had a situation.
They have a situation where they feel like that God complex.
Absolutely.
And they don't want to see how regular.
Yeah.
Or they don't want you to find out how regular that coach is.
That's right. No, 110%. I have raised a fighter, coached a fighter alongside another gym, and have had that coach come to me and sit and say everything was gravy. Like, how's he doing? He's looking good. This is what we're working on with him. And then he goes, well, I want to let you know that when he's here at my gym, he's not to do any of that. And then he did that the week. He pulled that stunt a week before the fight. And I go, that's not for him for you to choose. He has to go naturally. Look, everything that we show, the fighters try to spitball this, chew it up, put it in their game, and they'll kind of lay some stuff to the side. And they may revisit that technique later. But their mind, their high frequency patterns, it has to fit into that. You can't throw a screw in some gears that are turning smoothly and be like, stop doing that and use this. When he's like, it just don't fit right here in my my repertoire. I can't. Maybe one day, but stylistically now, this is what's working. And I think that is general concept of good coaching. You don't try to change somebody. You're supposed to try to, hey man, maybe I can help you, and I'll add some of this in. But you move the way you move because there's something in you that tells you to move that way, and that's how you've drilled. If I want to change that, words won't do it. I have to help you drill differently. I have to introduce new techniques and new series to you and new chains. But for him to say, like, he's not to do that at my gym, I'm like, you better fucking take that up with him. And I had to tell him then quickly, like, that's not how it works. I have taken the fucking hit and tell you that it can work this way. You have not. And that was it was a ugly thing to say, but that's the reality of it. Like, it's not to say like, oh, when he's working here, we're doing this. I thought there was a good connection, but that conversation, and then during the fight, there was eye connection here, and it was like this coach started to. And when became like,
and if they can tell you like that, you know that they're saying way worse things about you.
110%.
You know they are.
And let's
imagine the fighter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine, like, this guy is coming to you to get, like, some kind of training, and, like, he's, like, really feeling it, and this poisonous coach that we're talking about, he's, like, saying some shit, and that's making that fighter feel super awkward.
Right.
It's just putting more, like, anxiety on that fighter.
No, it is,
it's
man.
Like, you're trying to tell yourself that you're a coach, and all you're doing is putting shit on your fighter that's going to make them underperform.
That's right. So it's very. There's so many touchy situations and subjects with it, but it all boils back down to that is open communication between two ways. I personally have emailed another coach, another professor, another gym, and said, I have an athlete who's leaving. I was doing the due diligence, reaching out. He's a great student, and I think he'd be a great fit at your academy. And they've been like, cool, thanks for the heads up, man. And I was like, his name is this, just be on the lookout. And then I connect with the athlete. Yep. Fighting, it gets to be a little different because even though there's no lineage, there is loyalty, and that's where you begin. Your values kind of shift because you're like, my bodies I'm getting in work are over here, and my coach is over here. But if he's got to know too in his head, and that's just what it is, man. Like but
you coming from wrestling, you also know it's about you.
Yeah.
Like how many wrestling coaches have you had?
Dude, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not a lot. And because you stay, and well, take that back.
That's what I was about to say.
You do change. You do shift your coaches up. But the thing, and it's weird because wrestlers have this odd standoffish. but where you're from. And because it's fucking die hard to the bone, like where I'm from, we get down, and I know you don't get down like we do, but that's real. That happens.
You'll have a coach. Let's just say let's say you start at a great place like here locally is Storm Wrestling. Let's just say you're starting, right? I don't know who coaches the 7-year-olds. Maybe Coach Carr himself does, but you got a coach, and it's whoever, you're 8 years old, 7 years old, and that's who your coach is for that age program. Before you know it, you're in middle school, but now you have a JV or middle school coach, and then you're still coaching with, or being coached by Storm. Then you are getting to be 14. Now you're getting coached by, let's say, Coach Carr, and now you got a high school team. And then in that, how many camps have you been to?
Yeah.
Are you wrestling for Team Georgia here locally? And then from there, where do you go? You go to college.
That's right.
And who do you wrestle for at college? Did you wrestle at a JUCO? And then from that JUCO, where did you go? It's like, who is your coach? You got 11 coaches.
Yeah. And everybody,
but you sharpen every day, and you pull what you can.
But yeah, it is, and it is a I got to go here, and it's actually, it gets to be, man, I tell you what, wrestling coaches can be some. There's still the old school ones out there. They can be like old school jiu-jitsu guys. They can be like old school boxing coaches. You'll pass the elbow one way, and they'll be like, "Stop doing that shit. This is how you do it."
Yeah.
Why? And then, but you have got the series down. And once again, man, it's everybody in the old school is here. It's like they're like, "This is the way. This is the way," and that's just how it is, man. That really is. And you got some of your newer coaches like, "Cool, hey guys, we're gonna bring in this guy to this camp, and we're gonna work." And he, and it's cool. You have to understand as a coach, man, you're just trying to develop your athletes. You just want them to see a different look on things, and you want them to, be surrounded by somebody who might even reinforce their ideology. Like, you got to come and work hard. They need to hear it from somebody else sometimes, not just you. But it might, it's going to be something that's supporting about what they're saying. But I have had personally, I've seen it as well. And it's cool, man. I've actually coached alongside Coach Carr. You know what I mean? And it's really cool. And it's like guys who we both have worked together, and we've been mat side together. And and it's just how coaching goes. It's every coach is going to be different. Coach TJ Barb, is one of the most easygoing coaches and very knowledgeable. And as a coach, Dave Matthews, to let your kid go out from under your wing and go under another coach and listen to them, and then you still give input and help out and reinforce that. It takes a lot as a wrestling dad to do that. To you to lay down, especially as a competitive wrestler, I say it takes a lot, but you have to sit back and understand like the old school mentality. Like, this is the way. I don't care what that coach showed you. This is how you do it. You know what I mean? And it gets to be, and some of the kids don't understand that. Some of the kids today, the young kids coming up, you'll hear them like they're hoorah as hell about where they wrestle at. And then they'll go, all of a sudden they'll go to another camp, but when you go, hey, are you going to go to this practice today? They're like, no, I'll only go here. And you start to realize, like, you only go here for right now. And just let you know,
right.
When you go to these other camps, you're going to see it. And then when you go to another coach.
If you're really about this life, you're going to be moving somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, and you're going to be wrestling in college. You're so much about this life that you want to go wrestle post-college. You know how many coaches you're going to have?
Yeah, you're going to link up and have to work with the guys. Jackson Desario. Jackson will work. He'll wrestle everywhere, man. He will wrestle anywhere he can where there's bodies that will push him. And he wrestled for Stanford. He still wrestles currently for Stanford University. And he'll go anywhere he can. He comes down and trains at our gym. He goes to Cars. He goes to Social Circle. And that's great, man. But it's really neat because he gets to hear the angles from all the different coaches.
Yeah.
He gets to hear that.
I think that's good.
And it is good, but but he gets to see that diversity, and then it's like, no, this elbow pass this way and try it out. And as long as that coach understands that you got your way, and if he can see what meshes into that way and go, hey, maybe I can offer a little, check this out. This is a follow-up to it as well. And I see that you're really good at this. Check this out and see if you'll like it. And bam. And then, you know what I mean? But I have seen it other ways. Boxing is big time. The old school boxing coaches are like, nah, because you got your difference in your Philly boxing, your Bronx boxing, Jersey boxing, your Cuban boxing. Like this is the way. Down to how you throw a fucking hook. Stop doing that shit. Cuban, like traditional Cuban, and then Philly boxing, two different ways of throwing lead hooks. Like some of them sit down hard on them, and some of them paw them out there, and it's like
posture
that's
and
right.
stance
So it's
and
like,
everything.
It depends on the coach you got, which brings us to another topic. God damn, we stayed on that one.
That's one that we can harp on, man.
We could stay on that one I could stay on that one the whole thing. So we talked about the coaches, and we talked about, lineage, and we talked about certain coaches are gridlocked to the bone, like, this is my way. But then you, as a coach, you bring in somebody, and you go, hey, this is somebody from our lineage, or somebody who's very good crafty jiu-jitsu. He's a big name in the game right now, or he's a veteran of the game, and you bring him in, and you do a seminar. So what do you expect and take from the seminars as a white belt versus a purple belt and above? And as a white belt, how soon should you even be attending seminars? And what can you really expect to gain from them? And as an instructor, when you show up and you teach a seminar and you're having to cater to the masses and you want to teach a really good seminar that they take home with them, who are you catering to? The purple and up? Are you catering to the fundamental stuff that the white belts can attract and see? Because you all know, and I know, you go to these certain seminars, white belts have no business being there on what they're covering, some of that criteria. I went to a Lucas Lepre seminar. That jerker was bad to the fucking bone. And I was like, hey, bad. Philip Smith brought him in, 4-hour seminar.
Jealous.
Bad to the fucking bone. To this very day, I used everything that I've learned from there. It stuck with me on De La Riva and Lasso and Spider from De La Riva. The man. Like, and I'm like, but a white belt, should not have attended that, in my opinion. Like, he was going to see something that's going to be just up here. And for $125, it would have been
I was just about to mention that. Like, you were talking about, like, there's a whole lot of, like, when and what ifs and what to expect. And we should probably tear all that down. Also, like, your finances.
True.
Like, I would say do all the jiu-jitsu you can. Day one, okay, I want you to know that you are probably not going to be getting too much from this Lucas Lepre seminar, but I also want you to know who he is,
right,
what level he is, and this guy is probably not going to come around here again. So if you can come here and do it and be in on the mat with greatness, maybe through osmosis you can suck some shit up, and maybe you can get,
or you can suck them off.
Ugh.
Whoa.
Or maybe you can get like this.
I didn't say me. I said you.
Okay,
maybe you can get like
plural, whatever.
Maybe an overarching concept out of it.
Yeah.
Like.
Or you'll remember it 9 years later and be like, "Oh, that thing I learned in my very first day of
jiu-jitsu. Motherfuckers can't remember how to tie their belts, bro. They ain't remembering shit.
Nah. But if you
like,
make it to brown belt, maybe you're that one guy that would remember it. Is what I'm saying.
I like comparing it to wrestling all the time. Like wrestling, like you see little kids at camps with guys of the caliber of Bo Nickel or Bubba Jenkins or like Henry Cejudo teaching kids. Yeah. And when I see the videos on YouTube or wherever, they're showing like legit stuff. Like, whoa, I'm getting a detail on like a low ankle pick, but the kids are literally from 7 to high school, but they're all doing it. Now, what each student can get
what they take from
that
it,
move, what they can take from it will be different, won't it?
Sure.
So let's start. What can white belts expect to get from a seminar in general?
So I'll say that I believe that as a white belt, you should at least, before you attend a seminar, I think personally you should have at least a few months of training. Mm-hmm. I believe you should have 3 months of training. You know at that point where you want to be, but you don't know how to get there yet. You know that positions like this is bad. Okay, I've been here before, and it's going to get worse if I don't escape. I don't know how, but I know. Like, I don't know how to get there, but I know I don't want to be here, etc. So I believe you're going to see something and go like, okay, I maybe have been in this position before. And that's a crafty way to get out. And again, you know, what do we always preach to the white belts? And it's going to lead into the next topic, but we always preach to these white belts about being fundamentally sound. But it's important, I think, at times for them to see some, like, oh, that's some tricky shit. Like, they roll with these guys that are real tricksters on them. And then you keep doing the same move over and over until they find they're clicking like it. And then you start defending it. They start playing with it. You're playing the game with them. I think that as long as it is, I believe as the conductor of the seminar, as long as you are explaining the why and the how and the where and the mental concept about what you're trying to do, even though they may have never seen it before, I think they will pick things up from it. Whether, like you said, like small details. Now, as a seminar, like if it's on a submission or if it's on, I really think they should be on positions that lead to submissions. I think you should teach the sequence and the series of trapping. Like to this very day, I mean, dude, Redzovic had his series was phenomenal on the seminar he taught here. So was Mike Brown's.
The Kimura trap one?
Yes, the Kimura trap one was great.
Yeah, that was tougher for me to get. I have a hard time with that.
I thrive on it, and I like it because it's right up my alley.
But it's not my game.
But yeah, so anyway, I liked it because he broke it down this is the high percentage things of happening, and here's how to cap on it. Here's what to expect. And anyway, I think as a white belt, I believe you're seeing new positions or new details of the positions, and hopefully you're starting to see that how everything kind of revolves around the fundamental like principles. Unless you got somebody wild up in there, man, that's teaching this fucking Barambola, and worm guard and all that, it's like, this is going to be way out of your realm.
Yeah,
this is
for a white belt.
This is a niche game, and your 300-pound ass ain't going to be doing it.
Yeah,
and that's hard. So that's what I'm saying. It's very hard, and I think that you as like the host of that seminar might need to tell your students, like, hey, I'm bringing somebody in, guys. This is a very niche game.
2 stripes on the white minimum
Yeah.
or blue belt minimum to come.
Yeah.
Like you need to communicate with the
That's right.
Instructor.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you showing?
That's right. I believe as a precursor, I think you as an instructor need to choose wisely.
If you got a new school,
Yeah.
you need to tell whoever you are thinking about bringing in.
Yeah.
I have a school full of white belts.
That's right. That's right. Exactly.
That's what I was gonna say. So that the guy coming in knows.
That's
like,
right.
Hey, don't
And
show your like.
You should
tenure
choose the
stuff.
right.
That's right.
Yeah, you should choose the right person for a room full of white. Like you need to
Right.
know your own audience.
That's right. I think, and that's what so that's kind of what I look.
Yeah.
I like I said, at the seminar I seen with the leprosy seminar, I was like, this is gonna this is blasting. He was blasting purple belts, and he's world champ. He's phenomenal.
Like 5-time
One
world
that's
champ.
decorated in our time, and he's a very niche game that's very slick and it's very detailed and it's so applicable. And so I was like, holy shit, it's great. Well, and then I went to a De La Riva seminar, and it was phenomenal.
Ricardo De La Riva?
Yes, I went to 2 of them.
Yeah, you told me.
He taught
When did you go?
great
The first time?
seminars. Oh, shit. Me and Frank Mullis were partners. This was back in like
Like, where did he
2011.
go? Where?
Columbus.
Columbus.
Yeah, and it was great. Hey, it was great. Yeah, there was a Ricardo De La Riva affiliate there. And anyway, he taught the fundamental breakdown of it. And I really liked it because even the upper belts were like, didn't understand how he applied. And he'll tell you, which I love, he's like, I am just the one who played this game and created this guard. I am not the one who developed it. These guys that are developing it are doing amazing things. I know, he's like, they have a very good game from here. And but he taught stuff that was still very awesome that I was like, dude, this is legit. It's great.
I have somewhere up on this shelf and a Ricardo De La Riva DVD set.
Yeah.
And like, it's funny, some of the moves when I first got out, I was like, oh, this is kind of lame and wouldn't work. But then now I'm like, that very basic move, now I can make it work.
Yeah. No,
because it all adjusts on the times of jiu-jitsu and how people are passing.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And in that game, and it's weird how, we talk about with times of jiu-jitsu and just like in seminars, you might bring somebody in at the time to do a seminar when the invert game was wild. So you brought somebody in that was great at it, 50-50. Now you brought somebody in that specializes in it. Like, believe me, I know. So it's like you bring these guys in and that who may be specialists in these things, and I think that's like Cole said, like catering to your audience and knowing, and then you as the host going, yeah, Troy, you should sit this one out. It ain't gonna work for you. You
Come
know
to
what
fundamentals on Monday.
So, but as a purple belt, purple belts, dog, they're like, fucking A, dude. They're like the teenagers.
Sometimes
I
I
feel
hate 'em.
personally attacked.
Sometimes I
You
hate them
should.
more than white belts.
I do.
I feel really personally attacked right now.
Hey, bro.
Shut the fuck up.
They're like, hey, no,
Damn purple belt.
they are fucking chameleons with the times. Like, they'll come in, and it's like they might have just watched Keenan Cornelius a week ago, and that motherfucker will come in, and somehow his hair looks just like his, and like he done dressed like him. All of a sudden, he's rolling like him,
doing all the worm.
Hey, next thing you know, that bitch has got 9 rolls of tape on his fingers and shit, and he's battle bred. His face looks like he just got drug. Dude, like 2 dogs got in a fight, and he fucking put it out with his face. I'm like, how did you start getting fucking beat up in the face in jiu-jitsu? Like, they just look weathered, but they'll be like these hipsters of BJJ. Like, they'll just be like these. Because they're playing their game, they're developing their game, and they're taking a lot of ideas, and they're spitballing them. They're developing. At that point, they're turning the corner on what works for them. Unless you're Adam Butler, the same shit as a white belt, it's the same shit you're gonna be doing as a black belt, and nobody can stop it. Like, oh, I got one guard pass. He's like, hey, let me show you this guard pass that I know only, and
just this one,
and I'm gonna fucking crush you with it, even though you know it's coming. But, and they develop their game. I always call it, like, it's like the purple belt. Oblast had that tournament called Purple Haze. That's exactly what it is. It's a fucking haze because them motherfuckers be doing all kinds of. Purple belts to me, like them young, in shape, lean, lanky.
I try weird
purple
stuff.
belts.
I'll be honest.
Are the ones.
This is all very accurate.
They'll be like, I don't know whose foot this is, and I'll pull it, and they'll be fucking slicing their own shit off, and like.
Yeah.
But they're like they're playing these games, and they're kind of implementing them, and I think that they'll take those things, those concepts, and also, but on a good side, you'll see purple belts going to the side and writing it down or trying to record it, because a lot of seminars don't allow you to record.
That was Nick.
Yeah,
Nick.
I did.
He had a notebook, dude.
Yeah.
He wrote shit down.
I did it with the De La Hiva seminar.
That's what got me into
and the
filming.
Lucas Lepre, because you weren't allowed to record him. I took it straight to the side. I recorded it with my partner, and I was like, dude, these are ones I want to keep for the long haul because they were great concepts. But anyway, I think that the purple belts will take it. But you got some purple belts out there that'll be like, this is what we need to be learning in our gym. This shit, not that shit he's teaching, but I'll be taking that shit.
Yeah, it's like, dude, your coach brought that guy in,
and I'll run him over.
Oh, let's talk about that. So you're a purple belt, and you're over here talking that shit. But yeah, this is the shit we need to learn. You know that your coach is losing thousands of dollars by bringing this guy in to expose you to this game, right?
Dog.
Like. Sometimes, like I think people, we're talking the seminar subject, like, look, I get, like we were talking about, like what belt and things like that, and $125 might be a lot. If $125 is a lot of money to you, you probably shouldn't go. You can just keep rolling.
That's true.
Keep rolling.
Because one of the purple belts.
Oh, he will show.
He's going to go, hey, come here.
Let me show you something I just learned this
I know
weekend.
my coach is telling us to do something different, but bring your ass over here.
Meet me here 30 minutes early. I want to go over some shit. And you'll walk in, you see them purple belts, because them purple belts, them motherfuckers will be hawkeyeing like the brown and black belts. So walk in, and when they see the white belts, they're like,
hey, come here.
Hey, let me show you something. Let me tear your foot. Tell me when it pops. And then they just pull somebody's shit off. They done pulled about 6 white belts' feet off, fucking your clientele base up, telling you what you need to be teaching. They need to be getting ready for the tournament, that they ain't going to win. And if they do win, it ain't going to matter. And then promotion time comes around. They'll be looking at you like. And then all of a sudden you call the guy beside them, and they'll be like, oh, guess who just got the new target on their back? That guy. And he's like, I'm going to tear that stripe off that bitch. And then, can you tell my hatred for purple belts?
I feel it.
Okay.
I feel it. I feel the heat.
Purple belts come to your seminars. Let's talk about.
No. I'm just saying in general.
I actually love purple belts.
All
purple belts matter.
I
not
think,
to me. I'm trying to make them feel like blue belts and white belts.
There you go.
But when should you support your school seminar? Like,
I believe.
Are we talking
like
school seminars? Like if it's brought to the school?
let's just.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about.
I got you.
Like, let's just talk about that right now. Like, I have never lost less than $1,000 on hosting a seminar. I've never lost less than that. Meaning I've never broken even.
Sure.
I've never profited from bringing in a guest. I have never lost less than $1,000. I have lost between $1,000 and $2,200 by bringing in guests for a single seminar. And the price has got to be the price based on your room's
100%.
capacity or the value of the person the guest, the instructor.
Right.
It's not you're not gonna charge $30.
What determines that value for you guys? Like, what makes you look at a guy that's gonna come teach for
Who
y'all?
are they?
Man.
Yeah, is it name?
Yeah, it's
Like if you're doing a seminar, I think you should do it for free here at my school.
100%.
And like it's cool that you want to do one.
Yeah.
But you're just some
No,
jabroni.
I'm just some
you know?
dude.
Like, you're
But
a
if I have
fucking
five-
purple
fucking
belt.
purple belt.
Yeah, damn purple belts.
You could probably pay them $1 to come.
Yes.
Like that would be good.
Yeah,
you know,
they-
you get some teaching experience. But like, by who are they? What have they done on the mat?
Yeah,
Or who
yeah.
have they coached on the mat? There's gonna be different roles. Are
Yeah,
they, are they a good
but that
coach, or
is
are they-
one because I've seen some very upper echelon jiu-jitsu guys, some good jiu-jitsu players have a seminar for way less than I thought.
Yeah.
Way less than I thought. And then I have some guys like Lucas Lepre who I expected to be in that 125, 150 range. That was
That's
kind of
kinda
that was
y'all's-
kind of like that rate.
Yeah.
And it depends because you might charge a flat rate. They may charge a per person rate and then give you a piece of it.
Yeah. So that's
okay.
what I do.
Yeah.
I give the instructors a flat rate, and then I'm free to
Like,
charge
when I
what I
bring-
want to or
yeah.
not want
When
to.
I bring
you know?
Mako in, I will gladly lose that money because Mako has shown me stuff that I have just taken and ran
Hey.
fucking with it.
100%.
He hands down the best, the most applicable seminar I've ever in my life had the pleasure of having outside of Pahumpa for BJJ, which was a great one. He's right up my alley. Is Mako on the feet? Like the stuff that I learned is like holy shit. Like I hit it today. I hit it every time I touch people. I'm on it. I'm like doing stuff that I learned from Mako. But great seminar, and he comes from this wrestling pedigree and this background, so he's like very generous, like most wrestling coaches are. He's generous. He's
Wrestling
not charging.
people always give
He's
back.
not charging. And so what do? A lot of time we charge dirt cheap prices. I'll gladly take the loss on it. But man, you know, we have fun. He comes in, family stays with us, we cook out. He's just awesome person, great clinician. Bring him in, Steve Mako. Check him out. He's wrestling coach at Top Team, 2-time
He's got some
NCAA
good
national champion,
instructionals
Olympian.
out there too. His instructionals are really
Yeah,
good.
his instructions are really good. Like he
I got his
he
hand
delivers,
fighting
and that's
foot
what. So that's like as a clinician, and that's what you want is somebody who's conducting that seminar. If you got somebody who really delivers and can connect with people, it's
like Adam Redsvik does.
and
for
wrestling's one of
jiu-jitsu.
those things. It's like you're wrestling, like you're like, oh man, you fucked it up. He's like, yeah, you just got to kind of work with it. I mean, that's how it is, but
Yeah.
you got to feel it because it's something based on timing and reaction and weight. So I think purple belts appreciate stuff like that. And I think that good purple belts and all, I think everybody, they pick up on some of the small details of just the tiniest increments. But that's if the clinician hyper focuses on it and really makes him understand this is why it works and this is how you can take it and make it your own. And so I think
Blue
the white
belts and
belts,
purple belts are probably the most responsive
Yeah.
to seminar guests.
Yeah.
Because they're still in a. You should always be able to have your game changed and manipulated,
Sure.
and like having an open mindedness. But blue belts and purple belts are the most like responsive.
Sure, yeah.
Like they could come to something and that could impact their whole game for the rest of their.
Hey,
journey.
You don't
One
really
seminar.
have a game until like a year into your purple belt at least.
dude, white belts will be watching that shit. They'll be watching the seminar, and you'll see them just be like, oh, they'll be doing all that, and they'll be like, I hear it when I teach.
Yeah.
And then purple belts will be watching it. They'll be sitting there, they'll be writing shit down. Bro, fucking brown belts will be like, they'll be doing this. I'm like, oh, we rolling? They go rolling, and they start ripping motherfuckers' legs off. Like, hey, you, purple belt, come over here. Bring your spaz ass over here. Let me beat that hipster off of you. You know, how many layers of spats you got on under that gi? You know, and they smell like patchouli and tea tree oil and shit. You know, y'all. You know how y'all are. And they just start beating the oil off of them, dude. Matt just looked like a grease slick. The goddamn gi, it was white, but it's fucking coffee brown. It fucking smells of
dinge.
it smells of weed that they used to smoke when they were purple belts.
When they
You know, and fucking, you know what I mean? Smells of duct tape and shit, holding their gi together. They're just out here, you know, this shit just like Tide, when Tide was actually working back in the day, you know, before Tide now doesn't do worth the shit, man. You wash your gi in Tide, it smells like cat piss.
They had to water it down because everybody was eating the pods.
I like the Tide Sport. Tide Sport.
Well, they don't use that. They don't shower. They get up, they leave. They're fucking dingy. You know, they get
these nasty purple belts that don't shower.
These are brown belts.
Brown belts.
Oh, we're in brown belts. Yeah. I got you.
they're
brown belts.
Because they smell of 6 purple belts that they just pushed into the mats. And they smell like feet because that's all they be playing with. You know, they fucking feet and breath. Just
sitting there in 50,
hot ass,
50,
just shark shit. That's what brown belts smell like.
Okay.
But you know, let me tell you something. I fell in love with jiu-jitsu all over again when I was a brown belt.
Yeah.
I really did. All over again. I fell head over heels for it again, and I felt revived again.
I made the biggest gains at brown belt.
I did too. I made the best
I spent
gains.
the longest time at brown belt.
Wasn't that when you were injured, Cole? Weren't you a brown belt when you were?
I've been injured at every belt level,
Oh, okay.
bro.
I thought you and I had that conversation that was one of the times that you like picked up a bunch because you were injured and couldn't. You had to just study.
I
So-
was injured I had like 3 surgeries at brown belt, so I don't know.
It could have been.
One of them
didn't
was
even
from
get
fucking 50-50.
Yeah.
Hippie.
That's
That was back before they banned that bullshit.
well,
Well, actually, they banned it at white belt. Thank God. See, you know, when the Federation goes to banning things, they're like, the average motherfucker shouldn't get his foot stuck here. But because you're too dumb, I'm going to.
We're going to pause it and break that shit up.
Okay. So anyway. But anyway, it leads us to the next one.
What about jumping guards and that?
They
and,
banned that.
And the
As white
head,
belts.
head on the outside single tomonagi.
Listen.
Or sumigaeshi. I'm sorry.
Would the truck? I've been having this conversation with a couple people. Would the truck be illegal in gi competition? Like if you went to finish the truck?
Was it an F-150 or a Silverado?
No.
Which model are we talking about?
No, like the
What submission from the truck?
like when you go for the when you go for the twister out of the truck.
Spine lock.
Twister's a
It
spinal
would be
lock.
a spinal lock, so you couldn't do any of that.
No, that's always been illegal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spinal lock.
I don't think white belts move that way. I think it would snap them at their pelvic girdle. I just think, yeah. I think they would be fucking looking at their ass crack.
There's some
So by the time,
dumbass rules.
all right, we get out of here with that. With that, now it fades into YouTube. When do you YouTube? Do you guys? We'll touch on this one very lightly. When do you? Yeah. What do you advise your guys to YouTube? Let me tell you what I tell my guys.
On the Miller Martial
Because-
Arts
I tell them,
channel.
don't do shit before you come to me with it.
Yeah. Hey, because I have had people go, I saw this shit on YouTube, and I'm like, bro, I mean,
From who?
believe, and this is once again, and I have seen like, I've had somebody that would give them a title. I've had a nobody, a white belt, tell me, he's like, well, I actually saw this one on YouTube, and I caught myself while I said, that's great. That's great that you watch jiu-jitsu and you see it. Now you see one of 10,000 different ways to do this one position. And then but I start understanding as the instructor that day when I talk to them, once again, I try to explain the why of why we're getting here and understand that it can be done in this many variations, but an arm will always break this way. This is what we're after today. Or this is what we're after here. And this is what you can most likely expect. But per this type of pass or per this type of position, per this type of submission, this is what I'm after. Maliki has a great one of the great theories that he preaches to people to, and it says you should always be attacking a submission and advancing to position, attacking a position and advance to submission. It's a very good philosophy. And you know what we always talk, sweep, submit, escape, all the time. It's like you if you're not playing those games, you're pissing in your gi, you know what I mean? You're just pissing yourself like purple belts. And so you're stalling. So anyway, we advance. I tell my guys who choose to go to YouTube, he's like, and they ask me, hey, is there any like good, is there anybody you'd recommend we watch on YouTube? Just trying to figure some stuff out, maybe see some stuff that it would click in my head. And I tell them Mat Time is where it's at. Mat Time and drilling. And I was like, all these guys that show stuff on YouTube, it's not like they don't preach that. So you might see something very, very finesse and very like, it's beautiful. And you're like, damn.
But you ain't there yet.
You don't know how to connect those dots. Like, don't go down that rabbit hole. Watch people compete. I was going
to ask, watching competition.
I said, watch these guys compete. Yeah. Watch.
And watch what they do.
Pay
at
attention
the high
to
level.
them. I said, pay attention. The biggest thing is they have the mental maturity to detach from a position in order to evade the points. and then they'll reattack and keep that position alive by not giving it up and just sitting on their ass or whatnot, you know. And I said, so pay attention to it. Understand, more importantly, the rules and the judging criteria, scoring criteria, to know why they do what they do. And so, and anyway, we go through that, and I tell my guys that, and they're like, cool, because I know it ain't gonna last long. They ain't gonna be out there watching YouTube long. They're really not. A lot of guys just don't do it, man. As a beginner, though, they're overeager. Like, you know, motherfucker go to try to fly an armor on me. Hey, I don't even start standing with them unless I'm, you know, for a very specific reason or something. But
there's a lot of guys that show the basics on there too. You can study the basics.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 110%. Yeah, 110%. I
still think that maybe you could spend more time mentally reflecting on the techniques that your coach showed you in the beginning as a white belt. Now I'm talking specifically about white belts. Like because you're talking about how eager people can get. Like I noticed that white belts who they sign up, and we were kind of what we were talking about at the coffee shop. Like these guys want to do the unlimited package, like right off the rip, because
that's the next topic.
They're obsessed, but like these guys will want to YouTube all this in their time off and the days they're not training. It's like maybe you could be making a chart, like a flow chart,
right,
of like things, and maybe review your notebook and be thinking. I think that more of that would maybe be a little bit better than all that YouTubing.
Sure.
In the very beginning.
Yeah, in the very beginning, I agree.
You won't even know what you're looking at, man.
I've had people come up and they go, hey, man, I just saw this, happened to be watching something on YouTube, or I was on Facebook and a video popped up because they had searched BJJ on YouTube, and now their feed is clouded with YouTube tutorials. And they go, and they now, they're like, I didn't pay attention, man, that what you showed this one day can actually be done here, and I happen to see it on the video. And it was like, yeah, motherfucker.
But let's liken it to like binge watching, right?
Yeah.
So let's say a show comes out, like how shows used to come out like once a week or something like that.
Right.
And what do? You think on it all week, right? Like, and when you watched it because you knew it was going to be a week, you're like really absorbing all the details.
Right.
And then when it's on like Netflix and they release, let's say 12 episodes at once, and you watch all 12 episodes at once.
Yeah.
How many of the details?
Yeah, for sure.
And the Easter eggs did you get and all that? How many did you get? Probably not too many, right? But now the great thing is you can go back and rewatch it. Well, now imagine all of jiu-jitsu, like all the stuff that like a black belt had to learn along the way with their mat time and stuff. But you're like, I'm just gonna watch all the positions right now.
You ever been training with one of your guys and you know them, and then all of a sudden they start pulling this shit, and you're like,
oh, I know.
Oh, you've been watching that.
You've been watching videos.
I know what you're doing.
I
know what you're doing.
Or that Keenan shit. And I don't mean that Keenan shit is shit.
Yeah, I don't mean it in a bad
way. We're not saying
but you can tell because
it's their shit. It's their product.
Their
and
game
service.
all of a sudden started to change
in a week.
And you're like, hey,
I see.
Yeah, and I feel you. I know what you're doing.
I'll be watching.
Yeah.
But what if they stick to that? Is that not them developing their game?
It is. I'm just saying we see.
But
that
you
YouTube,
see it.
We see that YouTube can be, once again, a seminar can be used differently as a purple belt versus a white belt. White belts be seeing shit, dude.
Let's use your ass as an example right now.
Okay,
yeah, you. I'll be talking about you right now.
Yo.
You and people like you don't fucking listen. God. And y'all be on some shit where I'll be like, you know what you should do? You should just move to the half, solidify the half guard, and start working on some passing and solidifying some pressure. And you'll be like, all right. And you'll do it for 4 days. And then you'll get like squirrel, and you'll see fucking Keenan doing some shit. And now I'll see you doing worm guard and invert. I'm like, what happened to getting to the top with the shit we've been training and then moving slow through somebody's? I'll see you backstep and go to a Darce that's not even there. And I'm like, what the fuck? You don't listen.
I'm trying to play a game.
But I think at the purple belt level, you begin to play that game and then also though, you're like, okay, shit didn't work. I got swept. Like I know better.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm trying a game, and I think that's great because you're willing
to experiment.
And let yourself. And if you got it in your head that you're willing to take the loss from there, like the situational loss, the scramble loess, and not be personal about it, I think that is.
That's what my last year and a half have been like.
I think it's 110% beneficial if you're able to do that. It's when people can't. They're like, it's personal. Like, oh, you fucking white belt sweat me. Well, you're trying stuff on them, man.
Trying new stuff.
The totem pole is only supported by the guy on the bottom. I think beginner white belts are very important for you to train with. They keep your reaction real and true because if they don't know, they're just grabbing and scrapping and scrambling, and it'll weed out all the finesse in your game and get down to the meat and potatoes of how to hold somebody down and control them. Slow them down. And ride them.
You'll find out how little your lasso inversion works.
Right.
When you need to just use a scissor sweep.
So let's point out, like, when you see me doing this crazy stuff, I'm usually doing it to like a white belt or to something. Like, I won't do that to Shane.
You'll do it on me.
Oh, man.
Well, maybe I am just trying to experiment.
Man, I mean, that was a hook, line, sinker right there.
That was.
He was like, I do it to white belts. And then do it to me. That's what I just said. I do it to white belts. So
I didn't double down on it. He did.
So, I put those dots together. That's why I call you all that shit. It's purple belts. Fucking teenagers. You habitual line.
It's that teenager though that's
rebellious.
Like trying to break out.
Rebelling against my law in my gym with your footsie game. So now I gotta kill you. You grab my feet.
Your footsie
and you ain't sucking my toes, and we're fighting.
Why would you ignore 50% of the body though?
I mean, shit.
I love that wrist lock thing that says, why would you ignore 0.07% of the human body? And it's about a wrist lock.
All right, so
was it you that was saying that after 30 you're allowed to do wrist lock?
Yeah.
We got to the topic of staying with your lineage after you move, and then what to expect from seminars, and then we jumped one on when to YouTube. And what about for beginners, since we're kind of on the beginner trend, how many times a week do you think beginners need to train? It's a very short topic. I think it's very easy to answer. We both agree on it.
No more than 3.
No more than 3.
But I think 2 is the magic number.
Yep, 2 days and like a bonus day, like an open mat.
Open mat.
Yeah, because the learning curve, you got guys that want to come in, especially New Year's resolution guys. New year, new me. I'm coming in, I want to do it every day. And what happens? How long do they last? 2-3 weeks in the gym. Well, your gym is no different. When you give them access to a game to play, one of two things are going to happen. They're going to get burnt out because they got injured. Right? They got injured and they're like, oh shit, I can't do this. But they're going to come in. They're going to have this mass overflow of information. Like Cole said, like binge watching a whole series. You're not going to catch all the fine details. You need time to process and digest what you just learned.
It's that old saying, like the best way to show somebody nothing is to show them everything.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
That's an old saying, man. And
what about the guy that really wants it though? That shows up all the time. Is it situational for you on that?
When I say situational, it's rare.
That you have
what you're talking about is a rarity. That's that one guy who's going to get a black belt in 3.5 years. Let's not act like there's 7 of those in every gym.
Yeah.
That's not so. Like, I'm not trying to crush your question, but your question is like, when you say situational, it's like, no, you're talking about an anomaly.
Like
so
one
it's
guy.
Like, yeah. So one guy every 5 years.
Yeah.
But now you wrestled in college. Okay, I might put you on an unlimited membership if you wanted to pay for it. It's like, but there's like a reason that we structure our memberships the way we do, with like a 2 days a week with the open mat option, the 3 days a week now with 2 disciplines, and then unlimited. It's not to upgrade you and get you on an upgrade plan. That's what you should start with. You should start most likely with one martial art and only train in 2 weekday classes, meaning a learning environment, and then come to a weekend open mat.
No, we're trying to save you from yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it's healthy for you and us. Like, we retain you as a student.
Isolate 2 days a week.
You don't get hurt,
and you ain't got your schedule ain't compromised. Make it 2 days a week. Make it a point to go, I'm going both these days. I can allot 2 days a week to do this. Maybe I can't come on Saturdays or whatever, but I want to come 2 days, and I am going to learn for hands down. And it's easy to fit that in your schedule. That's one. And then 2, it's for your learning curve, for your progression, your personal development. Take time, man. And everybody always asks that question, how long do you think it's going to take for me to kind of like to get it? Or how long is it going to take for me to like for my leg to get more flexible? How do I get more flexible? Do I need to train more days a week? And it's not it. You need to let your body recover too. It's new to a lot of people, but like Cole said, unless you maybe have a previous background coming in, he's got like David who wrestled. We have Derek with these guys. When they came in, it was like, hey,
yeah, you wrestled.
Train.
You get what grappling is.
You did a real sport. We know what's up.
Yeah.
You know.
For real.
But no, it is. You're used to it. Used to a tough practices, and you get it. So
I fell in love with it when I started.
Sure.
So I was that.
And that's great too, because then you couldn't. We did too. We trained a lot religiously, but like you then. But now
see what
you
you're saying.
can't
Teaching
wait.
them. I don't even
You
know how
can't
much I
wait to
missed
get
out
for
on.
this day.
Yeah, you should look forward to it.
Yeah.
Right.
You should not go, man, I'm paying all this money for it. You're broken down from doing, 4 sessions
days,
that week already, and
Yeah.
you're like, man, I need it. I want to take off, but
Yeah,
I'm paying all this money for this unlimited membership. I gotta go. You don't want to look at
I
jiu-jitsu
got you.
or
Yeah.
martial arts like that.
Yeah, it become a burden to you quick because you associate it with just. I mean, it's supposed to be challenging for you, but damn, dude, you have got to allow yourself the progression rate. Not many people can also mentally can tolerate sucking 4 days straight. Like you like getting your ass kicked.
Kind of.
That's purple belt shit. So
Yeah.
and it kind of leads us into after the beginner level, and you've got some people that train with you now. At what point do you think? When and why do you start coaching, or do you position somebody into a role of possibly coaching? And what do you expect? And what do you think is expected of you as an instructor, and for not just for the class, for your journey? I think we know that teaching is learning.
Teaching is not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. We know that, but teaching is learning. I think aces in their places is a really, really, really good motto for this, because not everybody belongs in certain classes. Not everybody belongs to teach, like Cole said, but aces in their places. You may see somebody come out of their shell with not their game, but their ability to
I'll use
their
Micah.
personal development. Lindsay as well.
Let's use Micah. Micah is not made for beginners.
Yeah,
Micah does not
can
need to
see.
teach a beginner class.
sure.
It's not that he would be bad at it,
Sure.
because he wouldn't be. But people should also enjoy teaching.
That's right.
And Micah wants to do the type of stuff that Micah does on the mat.
Right.
He's not wanting to teach shrimp to guard
That's
or
right,
a UPA escape. It's just Micah. Like Micah's just as good as I am and better in so many things on the mat than me. So why do I like to teach the fundamentals adult classes.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I really do.
That's disgusting.
But
disgusting.
but some people, like you said, aces in their places. Like somebody, you got a specific guy for a specific job. To somebody who's to teach kids. What kids? The 4 to 6 is
Yeah.
a different animal than the 10 and up.
Literally.
And
Literally.
I don't get on. I'll get on the 10 and up. I'll get on the mats for the 4 to 6. I will not get on the mat for 7 and 9. I've told you about it.
I like teaching beginner kids. I like teaching kids because I'm like, hey, you fucked this up. You've only been on planet Earth for 6 years. But you, on the other hand, have been on planet Earth for fucking 43 years. You have no reason to not understand what between your legs means. Put the human between your fucking legs now. And then they mount them, and it's like, he's between your legs. This is why you are not the engineer you thought you were going to be. You can't figure out inside the circle versus outside the circle. But I like it. I don't know, man. I like all of it. Honestly, I like teaching the adults.
What's the minimum requirement? Belt level.
Teaching. So, what's weird? I honestly believe, I believe in, like we have spoke of in previous podcasts, our green belt. So the blue is not their first belt. The green is the first, and then the blue is the second. And according in top team and in a lot of other instructor standards, our blue belts have trained for quite a while. I think that blue belt is my minimum. I have a green belt who assists with my kids and he's with kids.
Yeah.
It's Angel.
It's an assistant.
And he is a phenomenal coach because he is so enthusiastic. Angel gets it. Angel gets the sport. Angel is of blue belt caliber, and he just has not received the blue yet. But
and the longer you're around, your standards will change, right?
Absolutely. And it's like
somebody like you probably has black belts teaching in every class, almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
for jiu-jitsu,
yeah, that's how I like it. I like having my browns and up.
That's
and
an amazing
my black belts teaching all classes.
That's an amazing prerequisite.
And I like the striking. I got everybody who's taught striking fights professionally, and it's something that I just
we do that too
in my head, that if you are going to teach another human about fisticuffs, then I think that you should have received the check and at least understand it to when it can go south, and understand, because that's a go to bed responsibility. you go to sleep at night, you got to know that there's people that train not for sport at your gym. They train for personal protection.
I think purple belt.
I think that falls on a lot of lines, but I'm saying like overall, like you have great coaches along the way. Adam Singer, who never fought professionally, but very well is of caliber, and is great on the mats and all. But like,
I think purple belt to start. You know, I'm not saying like to have your own school, but like in our fundamentals classes or like kids classes, like purple belt is our minimum requirement. And often our purple belt that's teaching has fight experience and can teach a beginner's class. Oh, I can show you that this actually works.
In my adults, the lowest belt is purple.
Yeah,
I do not allow any blues or anybody to that because they are still learning.
Blue's a good helping belt.
Blue's a great helping belt. That's why I like my blues in my kids class. Or I like blues to run warm-ups, get ready. But if not, my purples are running warm-ups, and my browns and blacks are teaching.
Or you got like a new person come in for their first fundamentals, you'll pair them with a blue belt to make them feel good, or you know, a guy who could actually help. And out of the why I like the purples teaching the fundamental class is because I think it grounds them. It grounds them back to how important the fundamentals are because they are trying new things in their game, and as they should. But I believe wholeheartedly they need to understand that the core principle and that they can take tiny details that they've learned from all these great instructors that they've watched, and they can pull each piece of silver lining out of each of their theories and their philosophies and maybe the technique details, little indifferences they show, and they can implement it and be like, ha. And if they teach that, and it's not something that's finesse, it's the difference of an Americana when you just roll the wrist in an Americana. That tiny detail that makes the guy who's a little more flexible go, oh, shit, hey, that's tight as fuck off the bat. I feel the pressure now. That tiny detail. That's a thing that specific detail is one that I probably forget 50% of the time to even bring up.
Dude, that's the best.
That's such a good detail to roll that wrist.
We teach that mainly, especially with kids, how flexible they are.
Throttle that wrist.
Yeah. Motorcycle. I was taught motorcycle. Like that's the first thing I think when I go for it. Yeah.
Motorcycle, put the elbow to the belt. That's all you got to do, dog. And that motherfucker, homeboy, you turn that damn unlimited member to a 2-day-a-week member. That's why. That's it. I'll see y'all in a month. No, it's like that's the reality. But in instructing, that's what I look at. And then when I got guys like Q teaching, or I got Josh McGraw teaching, I got Derek teaching. Those are all three different games. You know, I guess they're all three different games, and and it's good to see them like Q teaches in like some of the Monday, Wednesday. Same with Derek. When Derek teaches Monday, Wednesday, Derek's teaching good jiu-jitsu, but he's going to teach a very strong point of good scrambling or good guard retention, short man game, little man game like mine, and staying compact. And then when Q's teaching, dude, Q's got such an agile and or a pressure, or his game is such a chameleon, it can blend, and he moves well with it. But he's teaching what we're isolating out, what we've kind of stayed on, and then he'll teach something that he does from there, and it's cool because they get flavor. And that's, like I said,
I like listening to Q teach because he thinks differently than I do, and I can hear in his words, I'm like, I've never looked at it like that, you know. It gives you some insight into how
actually all of our dudes,
how he rolls.
Like Ralph, great teacher, dude. Like great, like when you come to the adult class. Ralph, great teacher.
Adil's a really good teacher.
Adil is a very good teacher. I'm hating to lose him. You know, dude, McGraw, super good teacher. Derek, really good teacher. Good attention to details on things, and they understand. They are still very well connected to the lower belts and understand like where they are. That's another thing. Like again, knowing your audience, who you're teaching to, and it's I think those are some of the things that, and because you got to think, I don't know, every coach is going to have their expectations, their athlete. Me, I would want somebody coaching my classes like we have talked about that has experience in it, that is going to be able to coach on a multitude of levels of audible, visual, kinesthetic, global. There's different learners out there, and you have to be able to make eye contact. You have to be able to help people. There's certain times you have to learn to climax during your talking and then bring back down. Dude, I'll say this though, I love coaching kids, and maybe it's because I'm fucking remotely close to their size, and I will throttle an 8-year-old. But I love coaching kids, but I've coached kids for a very long time. I got pushed into coaching kids, and I learned how to keep attention, and it was taught to me. I didn't just figure it, but it was taught to me. I was very fortunate and had a great instructor, and it was not in jiu-jitsu or wrestling. This was in swimming. My boss was a very good kids instructor, and I started teaching pre-competitive swim lessons when I was 15 and taught 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds how to swim, and it was really cool, and I learned about it. You talk about hard, teach a 3-year-old, butterfly or backstroke or freestyle, which freestyle is easier. It's where we always start with, like with all of our warm-up drills, which is basically the lesson. It's getting them ready to be a student and an athlete for the bronze level or whatnot, what they're getting ready for. But anyway, in the future, that's what you're building them to be. But dude, it's interesting. And with adults, you have to be enthusiastic. I've always added humor when I coach. I've always added humor. I think it's the most important thing.
It lightens the mood of the anxiety and the stress that people have.
Because there's new people that are like, oh shit, hey, but I'll go up to Atlanta and teach.
And like they don't get it.
I'll say some shit and they'll just be. and I tell them. I taught the kids class one. I said, guys, y'all are allowed to laugh, because they were doing this, and then Kira's laughing her ass off, my daughter, but they're like, okay, but. They had a great program, you know what I mean? But I just brought
strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
Yeah.
They had a Cobra Kai type of program on there.
I was in an adult class, and I was teaching Nogi, and I was like, Tupac said it best, you got to shake her ass and break her ass. Fucking radio silence. I was like, then you just grab the chin and roll through, and they're like, oh, okay, I got to ask a question. And I was like, so y'all just missed the Tupac line up here? Y'all some hipsters, man. Fuck y'all.
You hate purple belts or hipsters more? Which one?
I hate purple belt hipsters. I hate the ones that became hipsters when they became the purple.
So, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like I say that lightly. I'm laughing. You know what I mean? Like.
But we will crush you.
But you will die.
But I
we
mean,
will crush you.
I'm hey, I'm trying not to be a hipster on the one wheel right now. I'm just getting into this one wheel thing, and these motherfuckers like, hey. Slow down, you piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know what fucking tire you want to ride on yet. Go decorate your fender colors and your rail guards. Bitch, we over here changing batteries, motherfucker, running 90 on this bitch. You over here just talking about what fucking shoes to wear. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. I got to have my sweat equity. I already fell off and hurt myself, so they can kiss my ass, but I come back. I bought 2 of them bitches.
Get back on it.
I got it with me right now. So I'll ride that motherfucker in here to.
He's ride or die.
I am now. I'm going to be one of those hipsters. I broke every rule I talked about today. I YouTubed immediately, which you're supposed to in that. I ordered shit before I knew what the fuck it was, and if it would even fit. I rode the bitch backwards the first time.
Didn't it have a brake light?
It turns.
You have not had any protective equipment.
I have no helmet. I'm the biggest outcast. I can't tell them I don't have a helmet on the group, because they will be like, oh no, they go, oh, I want to be like you when we grow up. They do all that, and the one wheel community, is they're garbage. Assholes. Because a motherfucker mouthed off to me there yesterday, and I'm like, I'm on, this is a Georgia page. Like, dog, this state ain't but 4 hours deep. I'll drive anywhere, 15 miles at a time on my one wheel if I have to change your tone on the keyboard. Like, I'm just trying to learn, and I try not to be. I'm trying to be a student of just the industry. It's fun.
Trying to be a white belt.
I'm trying to be a white belt the right way. I'm trying not to be a spastic. Hey, riding motorcycles is no different.
100%.
I rode with a group for a long time. I watched motherfuckers come past me on back tire, 100 miles an hour. And then I remember when I did that once. And I were like, they were like, no, you will never do that again, and we'll kick you out of here. And I was like, what about that guy? He's been doing that for 15 fucking years. Let him die on his own. Let him die like a real man. But anyway, they nipped it in the ass, and I was like, my bad. I didn't know,
Sorry.
I didn't know. I ain't got enough scuffs on my bike to ride a wheelie yet that fast. But no, you know what I'm saying? So I'm learning the game, dog. And Cole got one before me. He got a helmet, and I'm over like, this motherfucker got a helmet.
Got a helmet? I had a helmet.
Look at this bitch. riding. Motherfucker looked like he's in a riot suit riding down the road. Fucking full neck brace with supports to his shoulders. Like,
Any of y'all wearing wrist braces?
No.
Or we're not bringing the 90s back?
hey, no, I did. You can actually go to my phone and open it in a Safari right now. I looked up full protective gear for my daughter because she likes it.
It's just like that though. The
And
guys,
I'm
wear
gonna
knee pads,
make her
elbow
wear a
pads, and
helmet.
wrist guards.
Same, I know the dangers, and I'm just me being stupid and me sleeping on it. Just like, it's like if my daughter told me she wanted to fight professionally, I'd tell her no, unless they started paying women a lot of money and paying them what they're worth. Cole madly disagree. Ronnie's like, they're not worth shit.
No, just pay the men more.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I'm fine with
But
that.
no,
Just pay the men more. Like, just quit trashing the men.
Now,
Like, you women make more money. Women,
Everybody make more money.
Yeah,
make more money.
yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, but
Paige Van Zandt just made a bunch of money bare knuckle boxing. or
she
something.
did. Not OnlyFans account.
I like that stare. Yeah.
Yeah, he's mad. She will go down in her book as having done that, and Cole's like, "You think you're better than me? I'll still fucking punch you into the dirt."
I'd love to make 500,000.
No, that's true.
Cole's OnlyFans page coming.
I'm
next week.
not hating on Paige Van Zandt.
I'm not.
Like,
I'm not doing it standing in
she
front of
made
Hector Lombard.
500K. Yeah.
I'm not doing it standing in front of Hector Lombard. Nope.
No gloves on.
Or Pitbull. Nope.
Who did
With no
Paige Van
gloves
Zandt
on.
fight? I'll stand in front of that girl for 500,000.
There you go. Catch a couple.
Dude, you will lose more chromosomes than a fucking Coke bottle contains fighting Hector Lombard in bare knuckle. Or, dude, it matters. All them
Thiago
guys.
Alves fight?
Joe Elmore, Rusty Crowder, them two dudes. This sport was made for them guys.
Hey,
And there's another fighter,
100%.
Ronnie Rogers. I would love to see Ronnie Rogers fight bare knuckle because he
Did you
was
see
such
Joe
a
Elmore's
bruiser.
face after that last
Yeah,
fight?
Elmore's fight. But did you see it a week later?
Yeah.
Phenomenal. He's
Did
the
you,
one today. He
did
was-
you see Pitbull's face?
Yeah, I saw Pitbull's face too. I mean, they all get fucked up, but dude, Joe Elmore his face was like hit up hard, but dude, he's on a tear. He's 2-0 right now. Rusty
That was
Crowder's
a good
got,
fight he had
He's
last.
the champ, right? Crowder?
No. I don't think Crowder
Okay.
fought for a belt. No, he was the opening fight last
Okay.
time, but Crowder's got a good
I
record
think
right
he's
now.
in the running for it.
He's 2-1 now, right?
I
he's-
think so.
I think he's 2-1.
Oh,
in bare
that
knuckle.
guy Johnny Bedford is the champ.
Yeah,
That's
Johnny
right.
Bedford.
Yeah,
Man,
he's
that's
the
old
champ.
school MMA guy.
Yeah.
But
What a weirdo
yeah,
he
dude,
is.
that's yeah, man. Have you had anybody come in here asking about bare knuckle yet? Like, do y'all train for that? Because I know that shit's coming.
Yeah, people are going to start.
It's gonna start
we haven't
happening.
had any.
Do you think it's going to change the boxing a little bit?
The
I
what?
don't.
You don't think anybody's going to like adapt their boxing for the fact that they're punching people in the head?
I mean,
Like with
people
bare
already
knuckles?
are doing that, but
Yeah.
but no, I'm saying that it won't change the sport of boxing.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
I more meant like those guys. You're not going to see them doing like traditional Western boxing.
Well, they will. They'll go back to the old school rules, and they'll
Go
start
to the
doing.
body more.
They'll probably start like, hitting the bag, but bare knuckle, or just a light wrap over the hands to protect the skin and stuff. They'll be more like getting back to body hardening type of techniques and picking and choosing their shots to the face, things like that.
I mean, obviously, it's you hit somebody up in the dome
Oh.
up here, or in the forearms, or in the elbows. I mean, it
hurts.
It brings different variables to the fight by far. Things that do have to be adapted.
That's not giving you street fighters any ammunition out there. Y'all still don't know what the fuck y'all are doing, and y'all
Hey,
still get mopped up by anybody that trains anywhere.
Hey, Colby Covington
I was fixing to ask, what do y'all think?
versus LeBron James.
Come on, we know.
I don't even let me finish.
Okay.
LeBron 6 months of training with John Jones, with anybody.
6 months?
I don't think he makes it through the 6
I'm
months of
just
training
saying.
with John Jones.
These are the numbers I've seen online, man. Come on.
Oh my God.
I don't think he shows up to
We're
practice.
talking about an Oregon State Beaver All-American wrestler.
Let him know the pressure. That man has it. But people I've seen it's funny, we're online, we're all just spitballing and shit, and it's trolling at its best. I'm talking about you, Eakin. I saw it today on Eakins. I was like, that trolling motherfucker. Trolling motherfucker. And people are biting on it like, oh, boy, hands down. Somebody's like, oh, he'll beat that Trump coward to a I'm like, man, you have no idea. I mean, in general, we all know what's up, but like certain general, like people
not
that
a
don't
game.
follow, I don't devalue my training. I know what I know. I don't devalue my training and my upbringing to go like a basketball player with 6 months, 6 years, whatever, can just flatline a dude who has spent a decade.
life.
How tall is he on his
just
back?
in this.
How tall is LeBron on his back?
That was the yeah, that was on there. I saw that. I was like, yeah, how tall is he on his back? But it was really funny though, man. I do love these. Like when we have these, like, what do y'all think of so and so this and this?
You remember that movie Sin City?
Yes.
And remember when like Bruce Willis like stomps that yellow villain's face out and it like splatters? Like that's what the ground and pound would look like after Colby got done.
But no, 100%. People go like, you know how tall they are and this and that. Y'all, I remember when I was in high school, we practiced in an area where we had issues with the basketball team at times, and it finally happened. And when I coached at Rutland, we let it happen too, because we practiced in an area where the basketball program was, as far as like in same facility, and it was a matter of time before the shit talking would take place, and it would escalate to work because they're friends when I'm not there. They know each other in school, but when practice was going on, they'd be talking shit to each other. And I watched one of my wrestlers just melee. And you're talking about one of my wrestlers. He's only wrestled at the time for like 3 years, but he was an athlete. And this other basketball player was an athlete. And I watched him melee this kid, melee him. And because they all did the same thing. I mean, the kid turned to his stomach to get up, and he was doing push-ups instead of building the base correctly. You know, man, just getting killed. And I just always revert back to that. And I have all the respect in the world for professional athletes in their respected industries. Hey, Deion Sanders, dude, fucking
Deion.
Bo Thomas.
Number 21 and number 24. One of the greatest athletes to ever play for the greatest.
And then you got I think the best, I think one of the coolest ones was watch Michael Jordan even come and go and play for the White Sox, which was strong. That was purely a ratings thing, but hey, the dude.
Did you watch the Netflix documentary? Like what they talked about during that, I never really knew. Like they were like, no, like he took this seriously. He was like, I'm gonna be good.
Yeah, he did.
He hit some dingers.
Yeah, he did. He hit some dingers. He could play the game.
He hit 2-something.
He could play the game. It was cool. It was like to see that was really cool, man. It was like to come from basketball into that. But
this isn't a game.
But this is not. Yeah. You don't play.
Hey, y'all, what do y'all think about Colby Covington versus LeBron in one-on-one basketball, huh? What do you guys think? Yeah, like Colby's gonna win, right?
You're right, yeah.
Dude, I just want to see both of them in ice hockey.
It's like, shut up.
I want to see something that neutrals the playing field out and then have them fight on skates.
Some of those goon. Oh.
Yeah. I want to see
a goon.
I want to see both of them versus one goon.
Mm-hmm.
Bring me an
That's
enforcer.
all he does.
Bring one enforcer out and let both of them fight on skates against that dude. Shit, let both them dudes fight on fucking cleats while the goon's on skates. Dude, be ugly.
I don't think it would be that big of a deal.
A hockey fight?
With let's give Colby Covington
skates
1 week of just moving around on skates. And then
I'd pay to watch that.
I would like to watch
I'd pay to watch that.
And then put him against the top enforcer in the league.
Yes,
in the NHL.
I would pay that.
With Colby's wrestling and a grip, I bet if he...
Yeah. I bet it'd be competitive. I bet it'd be fun.
Competitive. Dude, Colby's going to destroy him.
Some of those goon guys train too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What are we talking about right
now?
We're talking about Colby Covington. We're not talking about some MMA fighter. We're talking about Colby fucking Covington. He's going to fucking destroy any goon in the league on skates while he's on skates with a week of being on skates. Hell,
I'd pay to watch that is all I'm saying.
Fight Circus has me hooked. I'm ready for the next one.
That was great. Fight Circus was great.
You know, they had a chick versus a dude in BJJ. You know, it was a 10-minute match. I think it was good. And
I didn't watch it.
You had two 115-pound brothers versus a pro middleweight, like this Russian dude.
At the same time?
Same time.
Where do I watch this?
This was in Thailand. It was awesome.
Is it on the internet?
It's called Fight Circus.
Okay, I'm looking this up.
It was to me, I liked it. It shook some shit up.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'm down for some cross promotion. You know, some cross industry fighting. Like, fuck it. I mean, they can send the whole Cavaliers team out for all I give a fuck. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, nobody knows how competitive the Olympics are until you put an average person in it. So, like, I'm down for the reality check. I like watching shit like that. I think that's great. So I don't know, you know. Is there anything else today that we're covering? We actually strayed way off topic.
That's good though.
Because I think that shit's funny. And I see the commenting back and forth on it and the bantering. It's mainly amongst fans, not amongst anybody. They both said their piece, and that was it. One will step up and fight tomorrow with his own money.
Right.
And win. We know that. That's just the reality. I think this is the world's way of trolling everybody because I can't believe people are buying into it.
I've done no research, but I saw something that Gordon put up like $200,000 that he would fight him.
He was against Colby's coach.
Oh, okay.
It was against,
okay.
Colby was talking about his coach and that he wholeheartedly believes in his jiu-jitsu.
Oh, dude, Danny Valverde is
and
the
he
real
said, he
deal.
said, I'll put up 100 G's, and Gordon said, I'll put it up. It was like his 100 versus his 250 or something.
Danny
That'd be an interesting match.
Because they'd be competing. Yeah. I don't know if this is closed door or not. Like,
okay.
And I was not super close with Valverde, but like you just heard like what other people would say about him, and it was like that he just wasn't the best competitor. But I've trained with him. He's one of the best. He's one of the top 10 best guys I've ever been on the mat with, ever. And I've been on the mat with some real hitters, you know. And he's a judo black belt. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt. He is, when you say judo black belt, that means like his newaza on top is just nasty. He's an Abu Dhabi veteran. He grappled in 2005. He lost to Diego Sanchez, I think, in the first round by decision. I think he just kind of got overwhelmed with the cardio. But he is about as world class as it gets. I haven't rolled with him in 10 years, but one of the best guys I ever trained with on the mat. He had some sick throws. His arm bar is his best submission, and it's from anywhere. It's from top. It's from top scarf hold. It's from bottom guard. He really showed me some really cool details on the guard finish. From arm bar, but not some chump. But to say Gordon Ryan,
yeah,
he's the king right now.
The man, dude. He's he's one of the dudes now who's like, people, you ain't gotta like the dude. He's put himself out there and he's willing to. What I like about it, I like his approach. He's like, I'll put my money. Dude, that that's
when
the
you
ultimate.
See a guy talk,
hey, that's
and then
the
he puts
ultimate.
Money where the mouth
That's
is.
That's the ultimate. He's talking about, dude. He's talking about putting half a mil. Talking about putting a full mil. Like he's like, I'll put it down. What was it? It was my mil versus Galval's half.
Oh, when they were talking about them
like,
too.
It got ugly, man. It got big. It was like,
yeah.
You talking to like be the most money made in a tournament or in a match.
In grappling, 100%.
Ever I like his approach, dude. I've always liked these ideas of these buy-ins and these winner take alls.
I do too.
That's a customary in drag racing. It's a customary in drag racing. Like, no, you want in, buy in on the big pot. If you say you're the fastest and you know you got it, it's a run what you brung situation. But here are the stipulations, and the stips ain't much. It's like it's fast as street car. Like, oh, you're driving this bitch, and then you're gonna go straight to the lanes, get in the box and then go. Like, I like it, man. I think that's really cool that because you ain't got to like him. Your ass is going to do one thing. You're going to watch him. You're going to be like, motherfucker, this motherfucker just put up $1 million, or he put up $500,000, or he put up $250,000. Like, bro, that's a lot of fucking money. So, dude, it'd be legit if I seen somebody do that in a fight. I really like, matter of fact, this has been some time back. There was it was a fight in Atlanta, but there is Jose Medrano fought Diego Bautista for a winner-take-all fight. They had a drama with each other. They had like a little bit of beef with each other.
I heard about this.
These motherfuckers fought for winner-take-all. You ain't talking about a ton of money, but hey, somebody legitimately trained for that fight and went home with no paycheck. Minus what they got for sponsors and ticket sales, but still, man, like, I liked it. I was like, bro, homeboy had a winner-take-all. Like, that is where it's at. That's cool. You talk about putting some stakes on the line, dude. Holy shit. Like, it sucks already at low-level pro fighting.
It doesn't even matter, like,
regional level
the
for not
skill,
a lot of money.
the skill level. Like, that just intrigues somebody, you know?
Yeah, like at the regional level when you're not getting paid, $1,000 to show. I think the main event in Georgia is like 1-1. So somebody went home with like 3 G's or whatever, or they had like a down-the-middle pot, like winner-take-all. Cam. Mm-hmm. That's right. Cam did that.
That's cool.
Yeah, Cam did. They did a winner-take-all fight with Cam.
Remember,
Cam Gittemeyer.
Who was it? I forget. Somebody fought somebody for $1.
Oh shit.
Hermes Franca fought
yeah.
Manny Reyes Jr. for
Yes.
$1.
Yeah.
That was fucking funny.
But like, yeah, shit like that, man. Like, dude, imagine a winner take all fight for when these upper echelon guys are starting.
And they're putting their own money.
And they're putting their own money. If they
yeah.
put their own money, it gets real. That's when it gets janky, boy. That's wild. That's like holy
That's
shit.
like racing for slips.
Motherfuckers
Like in Fast and
legitimately
Furious, like,
walk
wanna
fucking
race
home.
for
That's a real
slips.
thing. But damn, dude, yeah, I think that's a cool little thing. Like, if I think in the world of like right now, what's going on in combat sports, why Fight Circus was going on at the exact same night and time as the UFC, they were like, people were like, God damn, I want to watch this freak show shit because it's different. And they did. And so, like, I think the change the stakes may be one of the next moves coming in. I wouldn't say it's like it's going to be an industry leading the new standard, but I think it makes things interesting. A winner-take-all fight. I think that's very cool.
Definitely get my view.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, hey, I see these guys on
I'm
the
watching.
NFC page talking, and I'm like, maybe you should do a winner-take-all fight if you really want that fight.
If you
Like,
really
'cause
want to fight that guy.
They said that you want to fight that guy, and y'all talking shit. I'm like, I bet you don't want to do a winner-take-all. It's like, And
And
then,
these days, hey man, you just
The promoter
put
be
it on
like,
YouTube.
hey, I like the sound of it. I mean, I don't know, man. It's
My
Yeah.
favorite thing from the Atlanta fight scene is when they say anybody can get it, and then the very next statement to the promoter is, "Nah, I cross train with that guy. Sometimes we're friends." Or then they come in way overweight and they miss weight against the guy,
yeah.
but they never had a plan to make the weight anyways.
But you a bitch because you didn't take it.
Yeah,
But
oh,
They
you
don't
bitch,
even
though,
make
you
it to the
said-
scale.
yeah.
Yeah, that's.
They weighing in on that piece of paper with the calculator between their feet, being yeah, 130.
Yeah, no, there's some interesting points today, like when there's maybe not many fights that people want to see coming around the corner. I think there's just some interesting fill-ins if there are really just good just fan fights.
Yeah.
A winner take all I think is a great platform. Yeah, so well, all right.
Word.
That wraps it up. Got anything else? You want to thank anybody? You're welcome. So I did come out here all the way from Macon. My feet hurt right now from working so hard, so this shit's ridiculous. I'm actually swinging my legs in this chair. So
Go one wheel it off.
yeah, if you guys get a one wheel, look us up. They're legit. Go dump you about $1,700 to $1,800. Get you a one wheel XR plus, or one wheel. Yeah, go and get you a one wheel XR and get on it, man, and get you some accessories and learn how to ride it for a couple hours, and then
Then you're an expert.
then I want get on the forums and stir some shit up.
What's the like? What are you riding on along drinking? What's like if I saw somebody riding on a one wheel? What's the stereotype? One wheel rider.
Well,
Not you.
With me, you're gonna see a White Claw.
Because when there's the claw, there's no
Watermelon.
law. Specific
one. But no, I really can't speak for the Atlanta scene, the larger cities, because that's where these things are popular at. And I tell you what, when me and Cole and when I ride them, period, people look at me fucking sideways. Homeboy's looking at me like fucking Michael J. Fox on the damn hoverboard shit. I'd be like, but I do, and I get, what is that thing? What's it called? Or how does that work? I got so many looks and questions when I rode at Emerson Water Park or Emerson Riverwalk last week, and but I can't speak for the Atlanta scene. But from what I seen on the internet, they drink piss because these motherfuckers. Some of the comments, I'm like, this shit's not real. Like this Facebook thing is not really me. I mean, I'm here. But I hope you wouldn't say that shit to my face. Not in that tone. They're just, some of them are just assholes when you ask questions. And people on there know, like, these people on here are such assholes.
So they're snooty.
That's just Facebook. Yeah, some of them are like, oh, you never put this battery combo on that. Why would you do that? Oh, this is the best wheel you need to run, and
I didn't know it was that complicated. I didn't know you could like order new
oh,
wheels.
it's so
and,
you can have, and they're gonna have their crowds. There's trail riders. There's city. There's like asphalt. People are like,
wow.
oh, me and Cole, we just mainly ride on sidewalks and shit. And
This is like the old school '90s, like the snowboarders and the skiers being like, "Oh, you're a loser because you ride a snowboard."
That's right. Hey, it's like surfers are to bodyboarders.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
yeah.
bitch, I'll fucking run you over.
You're a loser.
Motherfucker, I'll cut you, bitch. So, nah, and then you get up on the board and get your ass beat by some dude on a damn bodyboard with fins. You know? Like getting your ass whooped with some flippers on. But anyway, so, but no, like, there's guys that ride trails, and I'm not that level yet, but I would like to learn.
He's on the one wheels.
And I just like it. They're cool as shit, but if I had to guess, man, them dudes.
If One Wheel wants to sponsor this
Hey,
podcast, give us a call.
Listen.
If I had to guess, them dudes ride. They. I don't know, man. They probably got to go home to their fucking some wire hair dog, and they got to get in their fucking really cool old 4Runner that's got fucking 690,000 miles on it, but it'll tell you're emitting carbon in your diesel, which I'm in today. Thank you, GMC. And they'll probably go to Decadent. I mean, this is black coffee.
Okay. Yeah.
But they added pumpkin spice, and then they did all. I'm actually falling into this stereotype right now. The more I think about it, I even got on a pair of Chubbies. These are as short as they get. You know, these are my shorts.
It's as small as they make them.
My hair ain't fucking helping me. My hair is all.
It's a matter of time before that's pulled up into a top knot.
Like a, some kind of a.
We'll be bringing you guys a vlog dedicated to the One Wheels here pretty soon.
Mid-30-year-old
Coach Lathan,
lesbian
Professor
soccer
Bubby,
practice.
myself. We'll be rocking it.
Yeah, they're fun. They're really fun. They are super fun to get one. We will have you in. We won't kick you out unless you do white belt shit. You do white belt shit,
Can't be in the club.
yeah, you can't come in. Yeah. So.
All right. Later.